Welcome to the realm of astrology. This is your daily horoscope for 9th June 2021, which is a Wednesday. Today, we are going to talk about a lot of things, including the fact that we are building up into the new Moon Solar Eclipse tomorrow. However, before we begin, I want to let you know that I do daily video horoscopes, weekly video horoscopes, monthly video horoscopes, and monthly sun rising sign video horoscopes. You can watch them all on my YouTube channel or on my website called www.realmofastrology.com. And also, please hit the subscribe button. All right. So, before we get into the chart for today, let's talk about what's happening a little bit because we are in a very special time. And I say this because tomorrow we have a new moon solar eclipse, and eclipses are powerful turning points. They are powerful new beginnings because this is a new moon, which means it's a beginning. And we're building up into that. So we are in what is known as the balsamic phase of the moon. This is the period before the new moon where we begin to release things, where we begin to let go of things. It's an emotional release as well. And this is the time where we can feel tired, where we can feel a little physically drained. So just know that it's because we are in the balsamic phase of the moon. The next thing I want to talk about is that Mercury retrograde and the Sun are going to conjunct on June 11th. We are building up into that as well. And Mars is on its last degree in Cancer, and it's going to enter the sign of Leo on 11th June as well. We are building up to a shift in Mars energy as well. And we are also building up into a Saturn Uranus square that comes exact on June 14th. So there's a lot of build-up happening, a lot of energy about to reach its peak. So today is a day where we will be feeling all these things. Now, coming to today's chart, there are a few things I want to talk about. And the first is that the moon changed signs yesterday. And from Taurus, it entered Gemini right here. Right now, it's at 10 degrees of Gemini. And this energy, as you can see on the chart, there's so much energy in Gemini. This energy can be overstimulating. This energy can be overwhelming. So it becomes important to take time out to relax and calm yourself because so much energy in Gemini can be very overstimulating, like I said. But the moon has entered Gemini and it's been there since yesterday. And at about 9 a.m. Pacific time today, it is going to conjunct the North Node. Now, the North Node energizes any planet that comes close to it, in this case, the moon. So it's energizing our emotions, it's energizing our inner heart and soul. And that's what the energy is at about 9 a.m. It's a very emotional sort of energy, but it's also a logical energy because the moon, which is our emotions, which is our inner heart and soul, is in a logical sign, is in a fact-based sign, Gemini. So that happens at about 9 a.m. And moving on, at about 3 p.m., the moon will, the moon will trine Saturn. Okay, the moon is here and Saturn is here. They're making a 120-degree angle. And this is a positive aspect in astrology. It facilitates things. And moon Saturn contacts typically don't feel very easy. The moon, like I said, is our emotions, it's our heart and soul. And Saturn is the taskmaster. It's the planet of discipline, hard work, decisions. So these two planets don't usually get along. However, in a trine, a positive 120-degree angle, these planets will get along. So what this means at about 3 p.m., we will take some kind of emotional decision. We might even define our emotions. Or if we've been confused about certain things emotionally, Saturn will bring some clarity in that regard because that's what Saturn does and it's connected to our emotions. And it will feel easy, it won't feel stressful because sometimes we find clarity or we take decisions or we define things after going through a period of stress, but this is not like that. It's just going to happen easily, organically. And that happens at 3 p.m. And I also want to mention that Mars is going to hit 29 degrees and it's going to finish up in Cancer and enter the sign of Leo on June 11th, and we are seeing the Mars energy close out in the sign of Cancer. And Mars in Cancer doesn't do really well. Mars is a masculine energy. It is responsible for taking action, our courage, our strength, our willpower. And Cancer is a moon-ruled sign, a very feminine energy. So it does not work very well. And what that means basically is that when Mars is in Cancer, things associated with taking action, with our drive, with courage, with moving forward, they tend to slow down a little bit. But now in Leo, it's going to work well, and we'll see the energy shift in 2 days' time. And let me be honest, today there's not much happening except for the Moon North Node conjunction and the Moon Saturn trine until the new Moon Solar Eclipse that happens at about 3 a.m. for you guys. And what will that mean? That will mean the moon's going to come to 19 degrees and meet up the sun, and it's next to the north, so that makes it a solar eclipse. And that happens at 3 a.m., but we'll talk about it in tomorrow's chart. So this energy till then is a release point. It's a lot of release going on, and it's also a build-up. Both things happening simultaneously. And we are in between eclipses. There was an eclipse on May 26th. There will be an eclipse on June 10th. And this period between eclipses is fated. It's karmic. It's destined. It's a very powerful time we're in. And Saturn Uranus squared will also come exact in about 4-5 days' time. June 14th to be exact. And that's not an easy energy either. So we will be feeling it from now on. We'll be feeling all these things building up, all these things coming. And today is a day where we're getting ready for that change, where we're getting ready for that new beginning. That's all I leave you with, because honestly, all the intensity is going to start from tonight, 3 a.m., when the new Moon Solar Eclipse takes place. And that's when it really starts to change things. The energy starts to shift really fast. So take today to calm down, to calm your mind, because Gemini, so much Gemini energy can be very stimulating, like I said, and release. And if you're tired, that's okay, rest. And new moons are typically, yes, new beginnings, but they're also rest days. One really has to, the energy is so intense that it's best to rest on those days. Anyway, we should do as we feel, right? That being said, I'm going to give you a brief background on astrology about what's been happening, and then we will pick a card for today, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So the first thing that I like to talk about is the Pluto-Saturn conjunction. Now, these planets met up in Jan of 2020, and they meet up very rarely, once in 33 to 38 years. And when they met up in Jan of 2020, they changed our material reality in very drastic ways, because they met up in the sign of Capricorn, which is the sign that rules the very fabric of this reality. So that happened in 2020, and this new cycle that started will stay with us till 2053, until Saturn and Pluto conjunct again in the sign of Pisces. The second thing I want to talk about is the great conjunction, Saturn and Jupiter. They met up at 0 degrees of Aquarius in December of 2020. And these planets also meet rarely, once in 20 years. And they began a new 20-year cycle, and we'll set the base for that foundation in the next 2 years. A cycle that will be with us till 2040. And the next thing I want to talk about is the Saturn Uranus square. This is what we are building up to, that I spoke about on June 14th. The square will come exact, but this energy is going to be with us all year and even next year. And this energy can feel stressful because they're in a square. And this energy is all about getting rid of old things, old thought processes, old structures, old ways of being, and embracing the new. And it's also about coming into your authentic self and embracing your authentic self. So that's what we are building into this week. With the new Moon Solar Eclipse, with Mercury retrograde meeting up the sun a day after, Mars changing up signs a day after, a lot is going to be happening. And the last thing that I want to talk about are the nodes. The North Node is in Gemini and the South Node is in Sagittarius. They were in the same placement between 2001 and 2003, and the nodes are karmic. So whatever themes, events, people, situations came into your life back then, you might deal with the similar situations, similar events. So that You can close them out or build on them or just review them and let them go. And that's the background. And now I will pick a card for today. So let's see what the universe has in store. Okay. We'll go with the cards that have flipped. There are 3 cards that have flipped, so we'll go with all 3. Poised is the first card. Observer is the second card. And all that glitters is the third card. These are all very positive cards. And let's begin with poised. To me, this card means that we are poised for all the changes that are going to start tonight with the new Moon Solar Eclipse at 3 a.m. Technically tomorrow, but yeah. And we've been preparing for it, and we have all that we need to embrace those changes and make the most of them. So we are poised, we are ready for the change to take place. Observer. Second card is Observer, and this is also something that resonates with the energy, because we've got a lot of yin energy, we've got a lot of be receptive sort of energy, and this ties into that we don't have to take direct action right now. We just have to observe, and observing will open up our mind to new things, to new ways of being. And right now the energy is to sit back and observe, because in very many ways we are ready, we are poised for the changes that are coming. And the third card is all that glitters. I think this is the change that's coming up. It's a very positive change. To me, this card says that. And it's a very positive change that we are building into. It might feel stressful. It might, because Saturn and Uranus are squaring. Eclipses energies are very potent and don't always feel easy. But the underlying message, the underlying situation that's happening is positive. So to sum it all up, today is a day where we are releasing. It's a day of rest, we can say, for the changes that will start with the new Moon Solar Eclipse on June 10th, technically tonight, 3 a.m. or around 3 a.m. And we are poised for those changes. We need to just sit back and observe what those changes are, and those changes will be positive. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!